Shalom. I want to begin a lesson off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. Double blessing and honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us his truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua. Back up with another lesson through the spirit, man. Just wanted to talk about something that happened in my everyday life. So I'll talk about that, man. Got a good amount of precepts that I wrote down to pull out concerning the topic. And the Lord willing to be edifying to those out there listening and watching. It's going to be somewhat of a, I guess you could say a rant. Things we could just go through throughout, just in life in general. And yeah, man. But just going to be talking about that, and Lord willing to be edifying to those out there listening and watching, because I know a lot of you brothers will be able to relate to this video, those who see it. So yeah, enough said. I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. Lord willing, this lesson don't be too long because it's already late, and I want to try and get this uploaded today. So yeah, man. So basically, I sent a picture of myself to a group chat of my friends back home, and my one friend, he said, man, he's like, every time I see you, he said it just look like you getting older and older. He said, I don't know. He said maybe it's because you haven't had a haircut or something. I don't know, but he said he was like, is school like that hard? Is it like taking that much of a toll on you? And then he said then again, he said, I don't know if it's not you getting a haircut because you've been not getting a haircut. He's like, I don't know. And I said, shit, I just been going through a lot in life, man. And I was like, shit. Well, no, my other friend, he was like, this nigga genuinely going through shit. And he said he said, you trying to make a joke about it. And I was like, and he was like, my fault. And I said, shit. And I said, I don't really care. It's not nothing to apologize for. I said, everybody goes through things in life. And I said, shit. I said, it's just life. We all go through it. We all take different paths and stuff like that. We encounter different things, right? And we're at the last couple of weeks of school. Now I'm really just ready to get this semester over with. It has indeed been a long school year. I'm just glad the shit is damn near over with. But aside from that, really what I was hinting at when I said we go through different things in life is the fact that we are superheroes, so to speak, man. We live a double life, right? We live our normal lives as Clark Kent, and then behind the scenes, we're Superman. We're, we're always in the spirit of being prophets, but when we're putting in the work behind closed doors, it goes unnoticed, right? The people in our regular lives don't know that we do these things. The majority of them don't know that, right? They don't know that we post daily, if the Lord allows it, that we go out on the highways and the byways and give our bodies up as a living sacrifice. So people from the outside looking in, it may seem like to them that we're not doing a lot of things, or we're not doing anything in our lives. When in actuality, we go through a lot of shit that a lot of people couldn't last a day in, right? We go through unspeakable things that we can only talk to our brothers with, man, right? And I had I talked to the brother about that as well. I'm gonna try and comment. So like I said, I was just gonna edit that part out because I was going through my context. So if the video just like skips to this screenshot, then that's why. So I texted the Akis. I just added him back to that group chat. He had been out of it for probably like a good year, probably longer than that. But I said, look at Snapchat. He said just talking. The pathway to heaven is difficult. The pathway to hell is smooth. Strait Gate versus wide gate, and that's the reason why I have this precept up first, which is what gave me the inspiration to make this lesson. This is Matthew 7:13. Enter ye and in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate and narrow is the path, meaning a lot may go through this gate, but few will pass through this gate, man. Right? Through that path, right? It may be open wide, but it's very few who make it to the end. And broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat, right? So it's a wide entrance to destruction, and there's a lot of people that go down there that path, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Right. And then also, so yeah, we do go through a lot of shit through our life. This task and this path that we've been given by the Lord is not easy at all. Like I said, a lot of people could not last a day in our shoes, probably even hours or minutes, man, right? We constantly are battling spiritual demons, right? We're going through spiritual warfare, and I said this in the messages. I said, like I said, they don't know the half. Like I said, that's what I said in the group chat. I said, y'all don't know the half. I said, school ain't even the hard part, which, I mean, school does have its battles and whatnot. And I would say this, for me, I have to actually apply myself to school and stay on top of my work, because I'm not the type of student that is given the ability to slack off. But at the same time, understand that school can be stressful, but I don't take that shit as seriously as these other students, because I know that number one is not the end all be all. I have one more year of school left, and on top of that, like I said, man, this shit is about to be over with soon, this world, so it's no point in me stressing myself out completely over school, right? I said, nigga, we go through spiritual warfare daily. The truth requires full I meant to say commitment. I said, no slacking. I said, slacking. Bruh, I don't know why, but messages does a lot of autocorrect or cutting off, because this is supposed to have said, nigga, we go through spiritual warfare daily. The truth requires full commitment, no slacking off. I said some shit. Majority couldn't last in our shoes. So yeah, I do look like a grown man laughing. And then he said surely doesn't help because he's in school as well. We've been in school the same amount of time. And then I said not at all, responding to the school part. I said I'd still rather be working than in school, which is something we always say. Because ultimately, nigga, I never liked school, man. Never liked it. Just was good at it naturally. The Wadi Halbashi, man, I shot for that because I'm somewhat smart, but never liked the school. I didn't even want to go to college. I wanted to go. That's a story for another time, man. But I didn't even want to go to college. And he said I as well to rather working. I said, I don't know. I guess I'm being sarcastic right here. I said, I don't know. I guess it's a bad thing that I look my age. I said, babyface niggas. I said, babyface niggas, man, because the guys in question don't have little to no facial hair, and me and the Ak have more facial hair than they have. So we look a little bit more mature or older than they do. And that also comes from this, right? Because because we're going through this truth, man. This truth ages brothers, man. Right? It's a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of commitment and battling demons, spiritual warfare, all of that shit is definitely real. A hard road before them. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. We have to be on our P's and Q's. But be aware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. You shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. So really, hey man, as it says in the scriptures, if you're going through something, you gotta make your kindness seem like everything is all right, right? We have to constantly put a mask or a costume on, hiding our true selves from society, because we have to have enough wisdom, right, to fit in with the normal people, as I like to call them, the civilians, because it's not our time to be revealed yet, right? It's not gonna happen until right Yahushua comes back and brings us salvation, when the script gets flipped. Or really, it's really in Jacob's trouble, man, because that's when we ain't gonna have to deal with our everyday lives and shit no more. But yeah, I thought about this precept when I first started this lesson. So we have to be wise, man, right? Wise as serpents and harmless as doves. We gotta be precise and take precaution in everything we do. I said Second Peter's. This is 2 Peter, chapter 2, and verse 5. And spare not the old world. And this is just a precept that I thought about today. I only have to read up this far. I'll start right there. And spare not the old world, but save Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. Noah was the most righteous man out of his generation. And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly, right? And those 5 wicked cities are back on the earth today, back in America, man. And if y'all don't know what was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah, just look at all the ABC shit going on nowadays and amplify that, because it was worse back then. You can read about that story in Genesis. And delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. And this is how we feel on a day-to-day basis, which is another thing that adds on to what I've been saying. For that righteous man dwelling among them in seeing and hearing vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. Right? So just think about it, man. I have to go to school daily, look at a whole bunch of wicked motherfuckers, be in a classroom that I don't want to be in a space that I don't want to be in, surrounded by people I don't like, right? Now, of course, I have classmates that I'm cool with and whatnot, but we don't have the same interests, right? They're not interested in these things. They're in the world. They're blind to the truth. So I don't have no real connection with them. I just have a worldly connection with them, right? But then you have my friends, right? They go to work. They work 10 hours, right? But they still are reaping the benefits of this world, right? The Lord is not dealing with them, so they don't have to live by the law, statutes, and commandments. They can live freely, going unpunished throughout their everyday life, right? Whereas for us, we don't get that benefit, right? We got to be on our P's and Q's. We got to abide to the law, statutes, commandments to the best of our ability, because we understand and we actually fear the Lord, right? We can't just live our lives uh, in a worldly flesh-like sense. Okay, the Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. Right. So that's when they, you know what I'm saying. That's when they gonna feel that heat, and that's completely fine. I'd rather, as it says, man, I would rather suffer for righteousness' sake than to suffer for wickedness' sake. Because they downfall going to be brutal too. This is Ephesians 6 and verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, right? The demons. We can't stand against it if we don't have that armor on us, right? We can't do it if we don't have the protection from Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah. That's first and foremost. That's why you see people bugged out now, because the Lord is not dealing with them. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, right? We don't. Damn, it's a scripture, man. Fuck. My mind is going blank. I think it's warring after the flesh. Con. This is 2 Corinthians 10 and 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High power to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations, and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of the Most High power, and bringeth into captivity every thought to the obedience of a Mashiach, and having in a readiness to avenge all disobedience when your disobedience is fulfilled, right? So that's what I was trying to think of. The Wadi Al Bashim Shah. We're not going through a fleshly war, right? We're not fighting a fleshly battle, so to speak, which, hey, we may get put in situations where we do have to fight it, but we have to kill that quickly, man. Make that die down. But this is a spiritual battle, right? That's the most important thing, right? For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, right? The evil rulers of this world, man, the Edomites, against spiritual wickedness in high places. I could have sworn it. Let's see. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High power, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore against your learners. That's the rest of it. So yeah, man, this is a spiritual battle that we're going through, and I believe it's in the, not the cross references, but the Bible comparison, the NLT. Yeah. For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, right? Because we know that the unseen is more powerful than the seen, right? That's in the book of Corinthians. Against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places, right? The Lord is always testing our spirit, and like I said, man, we're going through these trials and tribulations for a reason. It's not for. I'm putting in a second. That's how you know I'm tired, man. I had a long day, but the Lord's not putting us through these tests, right, for no reason, man. He's preparing our souls. He's preparing us for what's about to happen in the world. Okay. Just 2 Ezra 2 and verse 13. Go and ye shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch, right? And we praying for shorter days, man. Every day I pray, right, that the Lord gives me the strength as well as other brothers to make it through the day and for it to be a good day, right? And that could mean for these classes, for that could mean that I want these classes to go smoothly. It could also mean that I want this bitch to burn, to go down, right? For shit to hit the fan. Good things in the news, right? Destruction, death. Okay? That's what that means. Alright, we doing this one more time. Since Daniel, this is another reason why I retired. And here's the thing, man. I've only been teaching for a little over a year now. And I would say I would be tired, man. Right? It's just imagine how our apostles and elders feel and the bishops. Just wonder how they feel. I've only been in it for a year. The brother's been in it for like 2, maybe 3 years now. Just imagine how tired they are, right? But that's the thing, though. That's a part of being a man. You don't complain about these things, right? I'm just bringing this to y'all attention because this is something that was said to me and brought to my attention, right? But as men, we don't really talk about these things unless we talk about it to our brothers, things that go on in our life. But there's some things that you don't even share. You just keep on the inside, right? You damn sure don't go to no woman and talk to them about it because, number one, they're not going to understand. Number two, they're going to look at you like you got two heads. Like, this nigga's soft. Let me get this. Daniel, and then you have women out here who say their lives are harder than men, which I find funny, man. But, hey, it's a discussion for another day. This is Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great wonders against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Let me start at verse Salakia. Start at verse 22 to see I can have some context. Until the Ancient of Days came, Yahweh, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it into pieces, right? And that fourth beast is talking about the Roman Empire. And we're in the revived Roman Empire, the second part. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, right? And the 10 horns that are upon the beast is the EU. The 7 heads will be NATO. And another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings, right? And that horn that arose is America, and the 3 kings that it subdued. So we're talking about the rise of America, right? What's that shit called? The Revolutionary War around that time, 1776. You got the 3 main countries that was over here ruling in the land of the unknown, right? Spain, Spain, England, and France, I believe. Let me make sure. I don't want it. 3 main countries. Great Britain, France, and Spain. I know it's Britain. Great Britain, France, and Spain, which England is in Great Britain, but Great Britain is a collection of countries. But Great Britain, France, and Spain, those are the three kings that America subdued, the United States. And he shall speak great wonders against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change the times and laws. Right? So let's talk about the calendar, right? Because we know that's not accurate according to biblical times. As well as the clocks, right? Everything is a 6. Okay, 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 24 hours, right? They came up with that shit. And laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of times, right? So this beast has been wearing our asses out, man. He will defy the Most High and oppress the holy people of the Most High, right? And the saints are Israelites. He will try to change their sacred festivals and laws, and they will be placed under his control for times and a half time, right? For a long time. We've been under these niggas. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it until the end, right? So we've been under them for a while, man. Shit. For thousands of years. We're going on 3,000 years. This is John 15-18. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. Right? But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. Okay? So that's just saying, man, we're gonna go through all the things, all the tribulations Yahweh went through, man. Right? So if he went through it, we're gonna go through it too. Because we're not greater than our master, right? We're not greater than our Lord. There's no exception. Right? That's a part of going through the Strait Gate. This is Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which and like I said, man, we're not even in the bad times yet. We haven't even hit Jacob's trouble yet. So we really haven't experienced anything. We haven't experienced shit. Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. See? Hey, let's read that again. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. You got to realize, man, that the Lord is not going to give you a test or put you through something that he doesn't know that you're gonna make it through. If that makes sense. I think I worded that right. Lord's not gonna give you something that he knows you can't accomplish or get through. There we go. And ultimately you have to have enough faith that Yahweh Shem Shai, like I said, is gonna give you the strength to make it through whatever obstacle he puts in front of you. For none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, man. And who is the devil? The Edomites, right? Our adversary, the deceiver, the false accuser. That ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Could be more than 10 days, could be less than 10 days, right? Be thou faithful unto death. So when you're facing death, man, keeping your faith in Yahweh Shem Shai, what's gonna happen? I will give thee a crown of life, right? You can't waver, you can't be scared, you can't give in, right? You gotta look it in the eyes and be okay with that, right? Because ultimately death is just you going to sleep, man. And your body and your soul returning back to the spiritual realm. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the chambers. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death, man. Right? There's going to be that lake of fire and brimstone. So this lesson is getting pretty long, but I only got a couple more scriptures to pull out. So the Wadi Halbashim Yashar for that. This is Isaiah 24 and verse 10, and this is another part of it too, right? Because this year has really changed for me. Before I pull up this precept, man, this year has really changed for me. Like I said, it's been a very long year. I barely was hanging out with my friends, like I was the past 2 years. Shit, really wasn't going outside and doing much. So, and ultimately, shit, people was, I guess you could say, upset with me for it. I don't know. I really don't give a fuck though. If I don't want to go outside, I don't want to go outside. Right? It's a spirit. I guess the spirit was over me. I just really didn't want to go nowhere. Right? I really was just trying to be locked in because we are coming towards the end of these days. Right? And there's nothing wrong with going out and having fun, but I don't know, I just didn't really find any joy in it. Kind of lost that step forward, I guess you could say. And just wanting to be inside and staying in places I know, not going out to places with big crowds and whatnot, because you don't know what the fuck could go on in this world. But hey, like I say, man, even in the comfort of your own home, shit could go as unplanned, man. Ultimately, you just gotta have your faith and y'all Bashim on shot that he's gonna keep you protected, which I definitely believe that. But this is Isaiah 24 and 10. The city of confusion is broken down, right? And that name Babylon, right, which is America, Babylon the Great, comes from that word Babel, which means confusion. I believe confusion or confused. I want to make sure. Confused, Therefore, this is Genesis 11 and 9. Therefore, is the name of it called Babel, because Yahweh did there confound the language of all the earth, and from this did the Lord Yahweh scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. Babel. Confusion. Mixing, right? All these damn mixed nations over here, man. This is Isaiah 24 and 10. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. And this is talking about ancient Babylon, of course. This is happening in society today too, as well. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is dark, and the mirth of the land is gone. And the mirth of the land has been diminishing, man. Right? Shit is not as fun as it used to be. Right? Going out not as fun. Parties starting to become whack. Clubbing is trash. Right? Hitting the bars don't feel the same. All of this shit is happening for a reason, man. That word mirth means joy, joyfulness, right? In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction, man. And I'm gonna get this to close it off, to tie it in. This is 1 Peter 4 and 1. For as much then as a Mashiach has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lusts of men, but to the will of the Most High Power. For the time past of our life will suffice us to have wrought the wills of the Gentiles, when we walked in lasciviousness, lusts, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries, wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you, meaning your friends, when you start and stop doing the same things that y'all used to do, which I wasn't never really doing nothing wicked out here or nothing like that. But it was vanity, right? And I understand that. It was vanity, it was meaningless. It didn't profit me anything. They think it's something wrong with you that you don't want to do it no more. Who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead? For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to the Most High power in the Spirit. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch on the prayer. Like I said, man, we're in these end times. It's not a time or a space or a period right now to be really engulfed in those things, right? Because too much of something can become bad. But you know what I'm saying? Doing things in moderation is okay. And above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins, right? So I'm going to close it off there. I know this lesson was long, but I'm glad I was able to make it. The Spirit was upon me to teach today. So I'm going to close it off there. Call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. Double blessing and honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone taught us his truth through the Spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Until next time, I say Shalom, Israel. Shalom. And as always, one day close to the kingdom, man. Shalom.